What is up, everybody, and welcome back to the Serie audio experience with IFTV. We're here on New Year's Eve, our last episode of the new year of 2018, the year that we started this podcast, as we go into 2019. Antonio, you got a smile on your face. You look happy. You got the AC Milan sweatshirt on today. What are your thoughts? What are you thinking right now?
Number one, it's been a great year because we got a lot of those guys are looking for us every year. We're looking for them. They're looking for us. So that means that the podcast is doing extremely well. So that means we're not just here just to show what we know or what we don't know or who we cheer for and all the stuff. We just talk about soccer. We're talking about the real fan, the fan that do understand the game.
Not like you.
Okay.
You don't understand the game.
Okay, so don't stop me. But
Be nice to me at the end of the year.
Anyway, for all of you all over the world that you're watching us, keep watching us. It's going to be a great 2019.
It is.
And we have a lot of guests coming to the podcast, superstars, guests.
2019 is going to be the year that we start bringing people on.
We're going to start to bring people on. Everybody wants to come. So if any one of you from Australia, Indonesia, or England, or Belgium, or Romania,
keep going.
Or all our Croatian fans, they want to come over, just text us like a couple days before. We'll see if we can bring you in.
We're going to bring them over
welcome.
here?
Oh, absolutely. We'll bring anybody here.
And you have a free place to stay. Don't buy a hotel.
You can stay on the basement of my house with my dog. You'll be
They're
okay.
going to sleep in your bed. You're going to sleep in the
Alright, so let's go on over here.
Anyway, it was really nice this year because Serie A, for the first time, like we talked about, they have this Boxing Day, you know? They had this time where a lot of viewership around the holidays where we saw there was no Ligue 1, there's no Spanish League. The Premier League was very good. And Serie A had this, and we had two games, and they're very good. We did the first game. Now we got the second one. And let's jump straight into it because we've already been talking about it a lot in our WhatsApp group chat. And I already know how most of the people at this table feel about this one. Juventus 2-1 against Sampdoria, a match that Juventus were running into a very difficult schedule towards the end of the year. We know with Atalanta they slipped up. This 2018 actually was a record-breaking year. 53 out of a possible 57 points, the best in Serie A history, breaking their previous record, which was also set by Juve, I think in either 2012 or 2013, I don't remember. But Juventus got away with a win.
That's right, they got away with a win.
So, whoever saw the match, you know that the two plays we're going to talk about. I think that both penalties, just to jump straight to it, they were very soft penalties. We've seen them not given many times. And I think that after the first one was given, the second one was a makeup call towards the first one that was given. That's what I think, at least, what the referee decided, because the handball is an interesting rule. We never know which way it's going to go. There's a lot of interpretation. Did he mean to do it? Did he not mean to do it? The one with Sampdoria, the guy's arm was a little bit extended, but it was pretty attached. Same thing with Emre Can, who was going up for a ball.
Emre Can totally missed the ball.
Yeah.
So he got the ball with his hands like this open. So the guy he got the ball like that. So the second one was very soft, but the first one was a clean and ball. It was a penalty. Absolutely.
I thought both of them were very light. I wouldn't have given. I don't think either of them should have.
Even Peter agrees with me. Am I right or wrong?
What do you think about both of the?
No, both penalties definitely. There was no real.
No clear.
Yeah, they didn't try to get the ball with the hand. It just happened to bounce off the hand. It's really hard, and it's
on a scale of 1 to 10. Which one was the softer?
The softer one will be some.
Sampdoria.
Yeah,
that means they could have just.
But both of them, I think.
I think Marco said it best. But
could have
because
been
they gave
the first one,
they were going to give the second one for the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
But it all goes based on the intention, right? That's the rule says if a ball hits your hand, it's a handball, right? But depending on the interpretation of the referee, in years past when there was no VAR, these penalties would not even be close to being called.
Yeah.
They would have just let it go because it would have been unfair. Same thing when someone kicks a ball, from
2 feet
where
away.
I am to Mike, and he just blasts it, let's say, and it hits his hand. Is that a handball?
But now they look at every single
It's-
play and they're very more.
At least
Yeah.
there was
much more
consistency.
peculiar.
I do like when a referee, because sometimes they say like the referee, you shouldn't give a yellow card right away, because then in the first few minutes of the game, because then every challenge, if it's similar to that one, then you always have to give a yellow card for the same exact challenge, or if you're gonna let these plays go, then the entire match you need to be consistent and continue to let it
Marco,
go.
let me ask you something.
Yeah.
Why the referees they pay so much attention when something is at stake for Juventus?
They pay
Like
attention for
the goal they disallowed to Saponara.
Well, that was
In any other game, nobody would have probably pay attention to
No,
that to
no,
a play
no,
like
many
that.
times, Anto. That was a
There's-
correct
in the
call.
past.
That was
It's
correct.
been.
It's
To
been
be honest,
disallowed.
I had no
Yeah.
clue. Watching live, I
No
did
one
not know
would've
what they were.
realized. Yeah,
No one
because
knew
it
what they
happened
were.
I think
reviewing.
any other
then
game, I
they
think they would have
check.
just paid attention, call it.
No,
They
always
check.
Yeah,
That,
they
that's
always check
this is
that.
one of the cases where we say VAR did its job, because nobody knew. It's very close for the referee. I'm surprised the linesman didn't see it clearly, or at least
Well,
maybe
because
close. Dude, it was very close.
It wasn't a
it
real,
wasn't.
It wasn't a
close.
pass.
Yeah, it wasn't a
Because
pass.
the ball just bounced and ended up hitting him.
The thing is, everyone thought it was goal. Then you saw the referee stopping, running to this
92nd minute, 91st minute for
something
Sampdoria.
like that.
So
And then
they
took it
they
away.
were checking the rule, and the rule does state, if it comes off the Sampdoria player, whether it's back pat, I think a lot of people were saying that the ball was not played forward, so it shouldn't have been. But I guess the rule has been changed where if it does hit off of, I don't remember who it was for Sampdoria who touched the ball, but whoever it was, no matter how he touched it, it was like that. And they said that Alexandro, who hit it afterwards, was an involuntary. So if the defender hits it involuntarily, then it's not there. So it was the right call, whether you like it or not. And it was a harsh call just because Sampdoria were deserved a tie in this one, and I think that everyone thought they were going to get a tie, and we know that even Sampdoria, they went off on Twitter a little bit. They said Juventus got a little bit of help with the VAR, and then they ended up apologizing and saying that wasn't right, just because there was just that sense that this was the time that Juventus was going to slip up where they were doing really good.
And there was a lot of tension. Too.
Anyway, Ronaldo got 2 goals today, 14 goals. He ends 2018 as the capocannoniere of the winter of the first half of the season. I think that I don't remember how many goals we predicted that he was going to score, but I know, Antonio, you said less than 10. And he's already done 14 in half the season. Yeah. So, I mean, this guy, the first goal he scored was beautiful. The second one was a penalty kick. And Quagliarella scored.
He's getting
Quagliarella
most of the
scored
penalty
again.
kick. Why doesn't have Dybala hitting the penalty
They
kick
give
for somebody else?
whoever's the best.
Who's the
give it
best?
to.
What are you talking about?
They
I
You're
like
telling
you
me
said
that Cristiano
trainer.
Ronaldo is better than Dybala in penalty kick?
100%.
Dybala's not even playing good
He's
right
got
now,
nerves of
so-
steel. They said that they practiced them in, I think Pjanic is the second one, not even Dybala. I think it's Pjanic. But anyway, Juventus come away with a lucky one just because they needed this win. A slip-up would have been very difficult with Napoli, who were playing Bologna, and right before the end of the season to keep that gap, which was at 9 points. And Juventus come away at the top of 2018.
But the thing is, it's
that's
crazy because
record-breaking.
within like the week there was the Inter Napoli game. Juventus tied with Atalanta, and they narrowly beat Sampdoria. Wouldn't it have been interesting if Juventus drops points at Atalanta and
True.
at
That would've
Sampdoria,
been
and Napoli
interesting.
would have been able to beat Inter and win? It
Would've
would
been
have been
very
a
close.
lot closer than a lot of people would have imagined.
These teams are
that's
difficult
why,
too.
I mean, we all been saying, Juventus is definitely the top team. They're going to drop points here and there, I think. I just don't know if it's going to be enough. Because
Everyone else will
Napoli,
catch up.
Inter, all the other teams
The
are going to
thing
drop
is, if
points.
Juve
It's
slip
impossible.
up, the rest of the teams have to pick up, get 100% wins.
We're
Yeah,
waiting,
that's
we're
what I'm
waiting
saying.
for,
It's impossible.
for you
It's
guys.
impossible.
We're waiting for
No,
you guys.
I think that we need to take a bigger step and a bigger picture. And if you really look back at the games that Juventus had and the games that Napoli had, Juventus had a much easier first half of the schedule. They played a lot of their big games at home, where Napoli played away games. So I think that that's going to play a huge stake when Juventus have Champions League, which they're still in. Napoli, yes, they're in Europa League, which is, not like the Champions League, and however long they stay in there. And I think that with Juventus, as they have to go deeper into the season, with more games, with Coppa Italia, with all this, and playing away, which is going to be much harder, I think that we're definitely going to see points slipped, and I think that was proven. They only slipped points this year with Atalanta and Genoa. 2 ties
but,
was,
But the thing is, yes, they're going to drop points, but so is everybody else. So
What?
is Napoli going to have a crazy 2019 to end it? I hope so.
They
Not
came back
necessarily-
last year. They came back, a
Yeah,
lot
but it
last
was-
year.
Listen, anything can happen. I believe that one or two key injuries for either
the
Juventus.
head-to-head.
If Juventus get one or two, let's say Cristiano Ronaldo.
Quadrado's out for 3 months.
Quadrado, Cancelo is out.
If
They
Cristiano
have all these
Ronaldo
guys
gets
out,
injured,
man.
let's say Cristiano Ronaldo, maybe I don't know, Mandzukic gets injured, I see Juventus coming down a little by little.
No, listen, I
But
think
they're not going to lose the campionato. Don't get
I'm
me
sorry,
wrong.
Antonio.
but,
I don't believe that because they have so many good players in every position. You lose 2 players
They're
like
very
Quadrado and Cancelo.
You lose 2 players, they have
in any
7
other
players
team. No,
rated.
I'm saying in any other team, you're gonna, you're not
Suffer.
gonna play as well as you have. Instead, Juventus, no problem. They put the next guy in.
you know where Juventus, and I think that these were my concerns before the season started, and I think that they've been extremely evident now. The midfield against Sampdoria was atrocious, and against Atalanta, the midfield that they never got that player that Juventus need. This midfield with Emre Can, they had Emre Can, Khedira, and Bentancur who
Pjanic
started the
wasn't
match.
starting, yeah.
All 3 of them
Emre
are
Can-
way
Emre Can.
too similar. Emre Can and Khedira could never play a game together.
I
They
can't
should not.
bel-
They should not be on the same field. Emre
Can't
Can, they
believe
play the
that you
same
guys
kind
got
of
rid of
game.
Marquisio. Marquisio was a better player than Emre Can. Why?
I think that this Juventus, if this Juventus wants to compete in Serie A, in Champions League, in 3 competitions like they are, they have the best team overall except the midfield. It was the concern in the summer, and I think Juventus do need to address it in January. If you really want to become that elite team, you can't have a midfield like the way the midfield's playing. You need a Pogba, you need a Savic, you need somebody who's physically can go up and possess the ball. Matuidi can't dribble with the ball at his feet. Yes, he's an engine. He runs his ass off, and Emre Can is physical, but none of them possess the qualities that a midfield needs in this Juventus. And I think that you're seeing drop backs from the defense. The defense is getting exposed a lot more because there's not enough help in the midfield.
I mean-
if Pjanic is not there, this Juventus midfield is horrible.
Yes, but Pjanic is your regista. He's the one that's going to be able to create. The Juventus plays in a very offensive-minded idea where Mandzukic is really a center forward and he plays almost like a left midfielder. Ronaldo, Dybala, these guys have the freedom to move.
They play really
So
well.
if you don't have 3 defensive-minded midfielders, you might see a lot more holes in the midfield. So I think Allegri, the whole thing is just keeping a balance. He trusts his players. He trusts the quality of players that your team could be playing poorly, but you give the ball to Ronaldo, he can score. You give the ball to Dybala, he can score. So even when we see that Juventus doesn't play a fluid game, somehow, some way,
They get it
Mandzukic
done, right?
finds a goal.
Yeah.
Somehow,
Yeah, but
some
when you
way-
start playing against the great teams like Real Madrid, Barcelona,
AC
Manchester
Milan.
City, Liverpool, I think that you're going to start seeing that midfield getting exposed a lot more. I think we've seen hints of it this beginning of 2018, and I think that was a concern. And I do think that it is a problem, and it's going to be interesting to see if they can address it, if they do address it, or how they do address it. Anyway, let's move on. Next match that we'll talk about, Inter. Keita Balde came to save the day against Empoli. Nice goal from Keita Balde, a player who I think the end of 2018 ends a lot better than how it started
for sure.
in August, because there was a lot of concerns of how he was going to play. But I think, I don't want to say the decline of Perisic, but maybe Perisic not playing as we saw him last year helped Keita Balde a lot.
Perisic
What do you think?
is like a very predictable player. It's just he knows he does exactly the same thing on the left-hand side.
Oh
He
boy,
comes in and out.
you got Perisic calling you. He's mad at you. What do you think, Peter, about
No, I mean, Keita Balde is a great player. We knew this. We just wanted to see him come out. The couple of games that he was...
We're doing live podcast. This is not live. Oh, Anto. We're all coming.
Oh, we can cut it anyway.
Yeah. Okay.
Put on silent,
No,
please.
don't cut this thing here.
We're gonna
This is
cut
a
this.
French It's an Inter fan like this guy here. So we're still on the team of Inter. I don't know those Interisti.
Okay,
Forget
Peter.
about it.
Anyway.
No, should we start over?
Yeah,
Nah, it's
no,
alright.
start
Keep
over.
going,
Go
keep
ahead, Pete.
Man.
So I was saying Keita Balde is a good pickup for you guys, okay? Because, AC Milan was looking for this kid here too. So it's a great pickup. I was telling about Perisic. Perisic is a washout. Just get rid of him. I mean, while you can, just get rid of this guy here. This guy here is done. He's done. This guy, Perisic reminds me of Candreva on right side.
Not that bad.
Very predictable. He's going to come down over here and then he's going to make a couple of fakes and then he's going to try to cross the ball that nobody's going to get. When the guy crosses the ball, he never looks at the player. It's not a Cassano that when he puts the ball, he puts the foot under the ball, he already knows who's going to get the ball.
Everything
This guy
comes
here, he
full
just
circle.
crosses the ball. Oh, I made a cross.
There's a lot more.
Job done.
there's
He is a
lot
less
more-
technical
It's a
player.
lot more that you see about Perisic, right? He's one of the players that for 90 minutes is running up and down the flank. He's one of the person when he's on, he puts a perfect cross, or he could go left, he can go right. He's very unpredictable.
Perfect
in
cross
that
for
way.
who? He just crosses the
Icardi.
ball.
Listen,
it doesn't look. No, it doesn't look.
Icardi was capocannoniere last year.
But not because of Perisic.
Not because of Perisic.
No,
if
no.
Perisic,
No, Perisic was
last
good
year,
last year.
last
He got a
year,
lot of
Perisic
assists.
and Icardi, if they didn't score the goals,
Nobody scored.
would have not
Yeah,
been
nobody
able to score.
scored.
Perisic was very clutch last year. I think this year what happened was, given the fact that he played the whole World Cup to the final, he's exhausted. He wasn't up
Used to it,
thing,
maybe.
and you can tell his game has slacked. But the other reason is, the other good point is that Keita Balde now, he had a little issue in the beginning of the season. He wasn't playing how we thought us Inter fans were excited that we seen him play when he was on Lazio. And but he's a player that is able to create. He's a player that's non-stop and is able to dribble and attack the defensive line like no other player. And these last couple of games we've seen that he's able to be clutch. He scored a goal versus Empoli that helped us win, but he was also the best player in this game. And it's something that a team like Inter is supposed to have. You're supposed to have the depth that when a player is not able to perform,
What
you have
happened with
somebody on
Icardi
the
the last
bench.
few
Pops
weeks,
up.
Pete? Icardi has been.
Icardi, he's a player that is always there.
Everybody's always.
Sometimes he doesn't score, but he just needs that one little chance and he can score. And he actually, this game I saw him joining in the attack a lot more, in the sense like he was coming to get the ball, moving the ball, and that was one criticism of his, that he was never joining into the midfield and trying to get the
Can
ball.
it be that all of those rumors is getting a little bit on his head? The
No,
fact
I
that
don't
his
think
wife
it's
might
that.
want to shop him somewhere else to Real Madrid.
I don't think it's that.
It's
I think
natural.
that everybody we see forums
They wanted.
that they
No,
go.
Mark. I think
they
it's
have
the
good
rumors about it.
games.
They wanted
There-
the
but
contract
there
to be
hasn't-
signed by the
there
end of the
has- there
year.
hasn't
They
been-
want to look at the contract one more time.
I think it's normal. I think that the contracts now they do get extended a lot. They get dragged out a lot. They're also in the media a lot. But talking about coming to an end of 2018, and for a player who did come back is Joao Mario. I think that Joao Mario, I mean, if you talk to him, what he said in the summer about Serie A and about Inter, you would never expect that coming to the conclusion now in January that he would be an important player in the midfield of Inter. And I think he might be the most important player in the midfield for Inter.
Well, right now we weren't able to get any midfielder in the summer. We had the links with Vidal, link with Modric. So Joao Mario was huge because he's a player that is very creative, technical player. And with Nainggolan not being in top shape, we needed somebody that could take his place. And he's actually been one of a surprise of this year for Inter. And he's a great player that hopefully what he's missing is, this is what I think. I think he's a great player, but he's missing the goals, in the sense that an attacking midfielder is supposed to get at least 10 goals, and he doesn't do that right now. No, I think an attacking midfielder, his position is supposed to be behind
The
striker.
strikers,
That's
yeah.
his position.
Yeah.
You're supposed to be able to get a certain amount of assists, and you're
And
supposed to
set
get
up, yeah.
around 10 goals. That's what the top ones do.
I think what you just mentioned before, Modric. I think Modric is all geared up to come to play for Inter.
No,
so
I don't think
listen,
so.
he's
You
not.
know,
He hasn't
geared up-
renewed. He hasn't renewed the
hasn't
contract with
renewed.
No, but I don't
Real
think-
Madrid.
I don't think he's all geared up.
Listen,
to play for Inter.
Modric has got 3 or 4 Croatians that they
Yeah,
play
yeah,
on
yeah.
Inter, and I'm telling you, those guys they shot
Text
a lot.
No, they do. They even online they do post some stuff, but
I smell something big coming.
it would be
I mean,
great.
you
They
guys
do
can-
need. I think that your midfield is that issue. The defense is
he's
looking much better than I
He's the missing
expected.
link for you
Yeah,
guys. If you want,
100%.
if you get
That's-
Modric, you are on the top over there.
Fortunately-
No, but
You get rid of
unfortunately-
Spalletti, you get Modric, then you are on top.
But that's our
They don't even
weak-
need
Get
a
our-
coach.
Conte, get Conte, Modric, and then
Yeah.
you can win the World Cup.
That'd be great.
You're not even playing in the World Cup, but you win the World
I'm
Cup.
World Cup,
telling
Club World
you,
Cup.
just get rid of Spalletti, get Modric and Conte, and that's it.
No, but besides that, that's definitely a weak spot for Inter. We don't have a real midfielder, that's able to create, that's able to score you those 10 goals. We were hoping Nainggolan. I mean, it's still early, so he's not like I'm saying, he's been a while.
No, Nainggolan is not at the level of Modric. It's not a
No, he's not at the level of Modric. Exactly.
It's
But
a great midfielder, but it's not a creator.
Yeah,
it's
it's not
not somebody.
world-class.
Is he gonna
Modric
be?
is world
Is he gonna
class.
be in 2019 with Inter? These are the question marks
When
right
I
now.
go on,
He's not
They're
the same-
talking
he's not
already
the
in
same
this
player as
January
what he
that
was.
maybe.
Listen, the fact
that
that they
maybe they could
punished
go
him
for a move in,
already, they said, oh,
in
he's
China.
smoking too much.
I think those are all rumors.
Hmm.
Also, because you have to remember financial fair play. You're not gonna buy a player that's valued at 40 to sell him where.
But
Unless they have
the
an
Chinese
offer.
club that they have the connection with, I think would help offset that. I think that's what the rumors have been.
But
I don't remember the name
I
of
don't know.
the club.
We've been
but
talking-
they own it.
We've been
Yeah.
talking about midfielder. You know what we discovered? AC Milan has got a spectacular midfielder. He just came out of nothing. Bakayoko.
Out
You
of
hated
nothing.
him at
Oh
first.
my goodness gracious! This
was-
guy is
he was
all
bad
over the
at first.
places. It's all over the place. He's got feet. He's got quality. He's got size. He's got game. This guy here, Bakayoko. I didn't like him the first 3 or 4 games because he looked lost on the field. But this guy's all over the places.
And he has a
All
cool
over.
name.
Huh?
Hey.
And he has a cool name.
Yeah, Bakayoko.
But besides midfield, I was watching Napoli. There's this one kid. His name is Traore.
Traore. Yeah.
2000. He's
Wow.
a 2000. He's starting in Empoli. But this guy made an amazing.
I think AC
midfield
Milan is
play.
looking for this kid.
This guy is
looking for
somebody.
everyone.
No, I'm serious. This guy is someone definitely
Keep
should
your
pick
eye
him
out.
up
Big,
because
big,
this guy
big. I heard.
he looked like Vidal in the sense like making tackles, making the right pass, calm on the ball. He
For an 18-year-old,
he
that's-
could have definitely scored a goal versus Inter.
Wow.
in that game.
Let's talk about Milan.
Oh,
Let's
yes.
go to Milan.
Listen.
2-1 against
Wait,
Spal.
Before you even bring it up.
What?
I got to tell you something. I never cried watching a game, but this time almost I got teared up when I watched it. When I watched Higuain over there hugging everybody, doing this. I said, why was he doing this? I said,
Wait, you were excited though. You were happy.
I
weren't
was
you?
happy for
Oh,
him.
yeah.
I was happy for all the stadium. Everybody was going crazy. And the guy on the speaker, Gonzalo. And then the last one was, Gonzalo. And then all everybody,
You were saying it too,
in the
right?
same-
You were
in the-
saying-
in
I
the-
was singing myself. too.
In the same game, they were whistling at him. Then 10 minutes later, the guy scores. They were going crazy.
God. But
He
listen,
needed that
he
goal.
got even lucky because the
He was-
ball.
oh my God.
I
No,
just said.
I thought he messed that up, to be honest. But
I
Took him away
just
from him.
listen. I just hope that this is really what we needed. Just this guy here to be psychologically just cleaned a little
Did you
bit.
see how hurt he was? There was one play that he got the ball on top of the box, and he controlled the ball all the way outside towards the
My
corner box.
God.
And you say you never see Higuain
Never.
do something like this. So you could see that there was a stress on him. And even after the game, he said that he credited Gattuso. He said Gattuso's the one who always stuck by my side, and he always kept me going.
He hugged Gattuso afterwards.
He
Yeah,
went up to
ran
Gattuso,
him.
and you
Yeah.
could tell that there was tension. I mean, you called me last week saying
Absolutely.
I'm getting rid of Higuain
Yeah.
at my club. But now, I think that Higuain has showed. I mean, he scores the goal that wins the game for Milan, a game that you need to win. And I think it's perfect that we have you here. We almost didn't have you for this podcast. We were about to start without you. But it's good that we didn't because I want to say a stat. In 2018, I'll get my numbers correct. But in 2018, if we go by just the calendar year, Milan would have finished 4th place with 70 points, the same amount of points as Inter. So the table, if you just counted 2018 again, would have been Juventus in 1st with 101 points, Napoli in 2nd with 87 points, Inter in 3rd with 70 points, and Milan in 4th with 70 points. That
You
means
know why Inter's
Gattuso.
ahead?
Why?
Head to head.
So
Beat you every time.
Listen, I'm thinking to go to Milan to watch the game. I'm just
Next
looking
one.
at the planes and all the stuff.
IFTV
I
trip.
told you.
I'm telling
Get the
you.
trip, take it
Antonio, could we come with you?
Oh yeah, no
come in your
problem.
luggage.
Yeah.
Anyway, no, the point is about Gattuso, a coach who's been criticized a lot, who's
Very.
been, they say, this is his last shot. He's got against Frosinone, he's got against Spal. If he doesn't win convincing, they're going to sack him. But this is also a guy who's hit with incredible injuries, especially this last month or two with AC Milan.
Not an excuse though.
No, I'm just saying,
I mean,
just to
we
state
gotta
it.
say the
And
facts.
Gattuso still, look how many points the numbers don't lie. You know, we might think that Gattuso, we criticize him a lot, but considering Inter's team and Milan's team, I would say that Gattuso got a lot out of this Milan side.
100%. And listen, Gattuso has a great relationship with his players. All those
They're
players
all
loves
behind him.
Exactly.
Every player is behind Gattuso. We always say you don't get sacked unless you lose the locker room. This guy will not lose the locker room. That's for sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, as a Milan fan, how do you feel about Gattuso going into 2019?
Well, listen, Gattuso is a motivator. Nobody's discovering anything new about Gattuso, so that's we knew it already. And then the fact that he's been a player and he's still right now he plays. Well, when this guy here is coaching, he's playing at the same time because this guy has never lost his mojo. Okay, so all he does, he gets all the players involved and even the bench ready to go at all the time. So that's why we see this. I was so surprised about seeing this Baka. Hey, 3 or 4 times, 3 or 4 weeks. I see Bakayoko since what's his name left over there with the injury.
Bonaventura.
No, Bonaventura and Biglia. Oh my God, this guy here is like the brain of AC Milan. Everything goes through him. Boom, 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 boom. It's all over the place. Tackling, creating, defending, offending. Just he does everything well.
There's definitely no surprise here, Bob, because Bakayoko, I mean, maybe he had a hard time with Milan, but with Conte, he played almost every single game with Chelsea. He didn't have a great run, but there was a reason why Conte trusted him. He saw something in him. He's young enough.
He's got great feet.
He's a great midfielder, great box-to-box midfielder. I don't know if he's the creative mind. You know, I think Biglia might be better with Bakayoko.
He's more the physical
next
guy.
to the guy being the physical with Kesse and
I like to see with his Paquetá too, the Paquetá that we got. We'll see.
I think you have to take it easy. You don't want to burn the guy.
Burn the guy.
Yeah.
We need people now.
Yeah,
burn it. You're getting paid. You got to play.
I'm saying yes.
Paid to play.
But you have to give him time in the sense that Serie A is a different league than Brazil and a different league than even other European leagues.
Yeah, but the ball is round over here and it's round in Brazil. It's round everywhere. So
yes, but you have to give him some time to get used to the Serie A.
Oh, I'm sure he's training already very hard.
Yeah.
He's already getting used with.
Even besides that, I think going back to Gattuso, we know that he's a great motivator. Tactically, he still has some things to prove. He's been dealt with a lot of adversity as far as injuries are concerned. This year has been terrible for him. He's been having to shuffle around players, put different lineups. Then the whole Europa League loss, the 4 games without scoring, all this stuff. So it was definitely a lot of pressure for the Milan fans as well as the players. They felt the nerves.
Guy,
so
everybody's
it was good to get that win. And then who came in the clutch? Donnarumma in the end.
That was a great
He's the man. He's the man.
And they even, I was watching the highlight show afterwards, and somebody said how amazing it was to see Donnarumma make that save and then get up like nothing happened.
Nothing.
He wasn't screaming as the defense. You can see a lot of goalkeepers when there's a lot of tension, screaming at them, "What are you doing, letting this guy open? What are you doing?" Blah blah blah. He was
the guy like
cool
nothing
as
ever
can
happened.
be,
Takes the ball already looking for the play
and saves Milan, because maybe another tie could have created something a
big
lot
problem.
worse.
Especially
you're
going
able
into
to
this.
end the year
A little break.
with the success, with the win, and look forward to next year where you get a lot of players back.
So Gattuso is gonna get his panettone a little moist, not wet, a little moist with a little champagne. In other words, you get in the panettone a little drop, but not too much on. So in other words, to earn the full glass of champagne, you have to still show numbers. And,
I'm excited to see what Gattuso is going to do in 2019. I'm excited to see they got 3 weeks now. The Coppa Italia starts in 2 weeks, and then the Campionato in like 2.5 weeks.
And then don't forget that we have the AC Milan against Juventus on the Supercoppa.
Well, yeah.
And Suso is not going to be playing, unfortunately, for a stupid foul that he made it over there.
Yeah.
So, but
I'm excited to see what he's going to do, though, with Gattuso.
See.
I think there's a lot of question marks. There, I think with both Milan clubs, there's question marks around the coach and
the Mercato, too. I want to see what players they get.
The Mercato, I'm not really expecting too much.
I think they're going to be a couple players maybe.
I don't see anything big or anybody big
The camera goes
moving,
all the time, Marco. The camera where the game is going on, and when there is some, it goes to Maldini, goes to Leonardo, it goes to the new president over there, and what's his name?
Gazidis.
Yeah. And then what's his name is there over there? An ex-AC Milan player.
Which one?
He played over here on the World Cup over here in USA.
Wait, what?
Ooh.
Massaro, yes. And his
Daniele
wife.
Massaro.
Massaro's wife just below both of them.
No, it's good that they have that locker room.
Yeah.
I think that before there wasn't that around Milan, and I think that the entire atmosphere around having a Maldini, having a Gattuso, they're players that you can't just walk over and players that you can't disrespect.
If you see Leonardo and Maldini, they keep talking. They just motioning too with their arms. They say, hey, that way. That means...
I don't think that.
That means...
They're the brains, right?
It means that they are talking about what qualities are in the AC Milan squad and the deficiencies at the same time. So I'm sure
they're both smart
I'm
players.
sure all of this stuff, this input goes into the lockers room and to Gattuso at the same time. I said, hey, Rino, be careful. Try to get these guys here to play that way. I'm sure they do.
I think that the players, yes.
It's disrespect to the
It's
the
not
coach.
disrespect. Those are friends. Those are friends.
If the coach seeks it out and talks with you, that's one thing. You can talk about it. But to tell the coach, you have to do this, that's what Berlusconi
No, they
used
don't
to do,
tell him
and
like
that's
that. They tell, hey, Rino, tell the kid over there to just don't slack off on the left-hand side. So
Anyway.
they'll take it. A criticism from a player, from champion.
Here's one
Gattuso
thing,
can take his criticism from Maldini,
Here's
believe
one
me.
thing. Milan, I think maybe not this transfer market, but next transfer market, they have to look for players that have some experience winning. Because if you look at the players that they have, nobody has done anything besides Higuain. And this has a lot to do with how you're not able to play a full 90 minutes. Even a chance versus, Donnarumma has to make the miraculous save. You cannot have these lapses of concentration if you want to move forward. So, there
are people that
need a
say
mix. You need a mix.
Less is more. So we're going to see what we can do with what we have and with this Paquetá, which I believe is going to be a big thing. Leonardo never guesses wrong. Okay? I doubted that Leonardo made a bad mistake getting this kid over here. We'll see.
Well, you watch a few videos on YouTube and now you go crazy.
This kid did extremely well in Brazil, starting to gear up. I think this kid is going to get...
going from Brazil and then going to Serie A, it's not the same thing. So anyway, let's move on.
Hey, the last thing before we move on. I saw the hug between Gattuso and Higuain.
Did you cry?
Like 2 hours. I never let him...
like Titanic.
Good boy. So...
You can tell they're close. You can tell they're close.
They're important.
It's Gattuso's best player.
Yeah.
They better be close.
Best player. What are you talking about?
He doesn't score.
What are we talking about? We got Cutrone, we got Donnarumma, we got Calabria, we got
how many more can you name?
Bakayoko.
Let's talk about Napoli and a player that I think is proving to be very, very important. Not only in the goals that he's scoring, but in the way that he changes Napoli, and that's Milik, a guy who was hit with injuries in 2017 and 2018. We spoke about how Napoli needed this center forward, and I think that when Milik is on for Napoli, they are a different team. They're able to throw the ball in the air. They're able to hold the ball up, and I think that they all around look more confident, and I think he looks more confident playing with Napoli right now, and he's becoming that, number 9 that I think that we needed at Napoli, and super important. Another tough match against Bologna. You wouldn't expect against Bologna is going to be hard with the way Inzaghi's team is playing. But they actually showed a lot of fight, I thought, Bologna. They were constantly getting back into this match. I don't think that we ever saw them park the bus. I don't think that we ever saw them, not think, let's go forward. And they were playing in Naples, so I really wasn't expecting that, especially when they were able to score 2 goals. So respect to Inzaghi and his team. Maybe he's getting something out of them too in 2018 that we didn't know. But Napoli, again, crucial win. If they didn't win this, they would have been in big trouble. With the 2-week break, it would have been a big mistake. And they did it without Koulibaly, and they did it without Insigne. The defense, I think that we did see shakiness in the defense, which is to be expected when you have a guy like Koulibaly day in and day out. He's solid for Napoli, and even Insigne, who's your captain, and I mean, not your captain.
How many weeks
He's
did
like
he
a
get?
vice captain.
How many weeks did he get?
Both got 2 weeks.
Oh God, that's too
2 games.
much.
But they're gonna
gonna
review it. They're probably gonna get one
It
game.
might be
I think.
one game for both.
They just did. The first one was a few days after, and they got a red card, so you're gonna have to take 1 week. But I think the second week will be pushed back. But anyway, that was Napoli.
Yeah,
tougher game than you would have.
like
What
you
about
said,
Mario Rui? Did he get any suspension for fighting off the
I didn't
just
get it.
before getting into the locker room?
He played.
Yeah.
Pete, what were you gonna say?
I know he played. No, I've said after the game.
No.
Oh, okay.
I mean,
What were
if
you
he
gonna say?
played,
No, Napoli, like you said, Milik in there, it creates a whole different Napoli. They're able to cross the ball more, and you have a target man. Ancelotti changed formation. He played a 4-4-2, missing 3 of the arguably best players. Koulibaly, Insigne, and the captain Amsic, also out because of injury. So this was
That is not a big miss anyway, Gamsi.
Listen, he's still a good player.
Good morale
He's still a good
booster.
player. He's a captain for a reason.
He's a captain because he's the older one.
But he's still a good player. I
Aye.
think.
Napoli have a lot
And-
of leaders.
Yeah,
too.
but also their defense looked very poor in the sense Palacio was running them
running in circles around them.
and you can tell like Napoli's defensive line, they were a little bit lower than usual, giving more space for Bologna to play. And
He's a vocal guy in the air too.
Yeah.
Both of the goals were headers,
Well,
right?
set pieces.
Set pieces.
Bologna's got a more physical team. Inzaghi also trains his team for set pieces. I think when he was with Venezia, he had the most goals
Wow, I
in
didn't know
set
that.
pieces. So these are things that he studies.
Set pieces. I mean, the marking on those goals was atrocious.
Oh yeah, but
You don't have a guy like Koulibaly screaming at you. Go, mark there. Go, mark
Pushing
there.
Mario Rui to get the ball.
No, seriously.
no, I know.
Seriously.
Yeah, that's
and then
what it is.
Mertens, they at the end was able to get
Yeah.
5 minutes before the end of the
I will
regulation.
just
able
give
to
a little.
score. Well, you think the
little
goalie was weak on the first
Yeah,
post? Yeah,
definitely.
he made a mistake. He was late. He was late.
late.
He was late, but it was a nice shot. He hit it where he's supposed to. Near post shot, low and hard. And the goalkeeper missed it.
I'm
But-
happy for Ancelotti. Don't get me wrong. So I could have been happier for Inzaghi too. But you can have really pick and choose. I mean,
Yeah,
one is
and
going to
then-
win, one is going to lose. So a tie
Or a
will not.
tie.
A tie will not serve anybody. We only serve
It would
Juventus.
serve Bologna. You're
Yeah,
kidding
serve
me?
Juventus.
It always serves
What do you feel about Bologna would kill for a tie?
tie, you know, he was
Inzaghi needs
hoping for
any
a
point
tie,
that he
right?
can.
He was hoping for a
Of
tie.
course. What are you talking about? Doesn't serve anybody.
But also, I want to
I
say
also
the
big time.
fans in Napoli were showing a lot of support for Koulibaly after the
yeah.
racist stuff.
Oh, that's
And
right. That
They
posters,
had a lot
right?
of posters.
Some a little bit too much that they gotta.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
it's also because they're not as conscious
They're not.
But
as the other.
which is
You
bad.
know
as
what?
other
I
countries,
applauded
but-
the league
I try not
to suspend.
focus
to
on that.
Yeah.
So how many game suspension you got for?
Two, and then the Ultras got 3.
Wow.
Which is, this was a great talking point because I think we heard a lot of new ideas
A
coming
lot
out
of money
it.
right there, Pete. There's a lot of money.
Yeah, there's a lot of money.
Which was, I think Allegri who brought actually a really great point. I liked Allegri's point, and he was saying that he doesn't like this idea of just closing a curva. He doesn't like the idea of closing a stadium because he thinks it's a very temporary fix and it doesn't actually solve the problem. He says,
Right.
we've
And
seen
how do
many
you solve
times.
it? How do you solve
He
it?
thinks that through education, which was what he was saying, he said that he says with these kids that are growing up, the next generation, he said we should be teaching them by bringing players and telling them what's right, what's wrong, so that the future it happens. And he says with technology, with all the technology we have, he said you see a camera, you see a guy who does it, you take that guy, you ban him for life, and that's it. Otherwise,
I'm going to throw another one on the table. I will say that next thing an episode like that happen. Let's say you have two teams, like let's put Juventus and Inter. They're playing each other, okay? So
Something happens.
some of those
Yeah.
boosts they're starting to come out just very racially, directed to the people or darker skin. I will encourage both teams, especially starting with the black guys, to just walk out of the field.
I think that they've talked about that too. They
You know,
talked
we
about-
from
saw
either
it with-
side, regardless who's winning, who's losing.
No, yeah.
When you're starting to send a message like that you see all the people of, with the dark skin colors just walk out of the field. then,
Everybody
I think
would.
everybody
I think
on the
everybody
team
would.
was.
Ancelotti
There's a
even
brotherhood,
said
they
there's
say,
like if that
at
actually
least.
happens
Yeah,
again,
he
I was like,
said,
I'm making
yeah.
sure my whole team walks out.
Yeah,
next time.
but it says suspending the game for 10, 15 minutes. You will say walk out, just totally.
No,
the
I
game
think
is
complete
over.
walk
Well,
out.
Yeah, that's what
He's
Ancelotti
talking
meant.
about a suspension, Ancelotti,
No, I
or
think
10, 15
Ancelotti said
minutes.
we're not going to play anymore.
Yeah, I think he
Walk
said we're
out.
not gonna
They walk
play.
off the field.
Yeah.
But
Walk
the
out of the
thing-
field.
The thing is,
Yeah.
it's a very touchy thing. But how do you hurt the team? As far as like you said, you're going to lose a lot of money, and these are things that are not tolerated, and you have to show some type of
Punishment.
discipline,
Yeah.
some type of punishment for the teams that
Not doing
have this
stuff.
racist
Yeah.
behavior.
I would like to
in-
see though, like the guy gets out. The guys who you see do it with the cameras because we have so
Oh,
many
yeah,
cameras in the stadium.
definitely.
Bye, forever. That's it.
Yeah, you
you're
make
bye.
an
You're not
example.
allowed
You
in
make
our.
So now-
you're not.
now,
Look, listen.
since
What Inter said was very good. The statement that they put out. They said if you don't respect and don't align yourself with us, the brothers of the
Don't
world,
be.
you're
You're
not.
not
You're
Inter
not.
fan.
You're not with our
Yeah,
colors.
you're
You're
not
not
Inter
with
fan.
us.
Right, then
bye.
over there, every team is got the curva, the chief of the curva, the capi della curva. So what you do, those guys, they step up to the plate and they know who does that stuff. So whether it's happening on the
I
curva,
think
whether
that's
it's
gonna be
happening on
hard
the
to get
step.
those guys.
Yeah, but I'm
They
telling you,
know.
these guys are criminals. They're
Yeah,
not,
I
they're
think
not
those
gonna
guys are
be-
the ones that are doing
They're
it.
not going to be
Listen,
supportive. of
They are
any-
Yeah, I don't think they're gonna be
criminals.
supportive.
You might say they are criminals, but at the same time, they wanted to come and watch the game. They don't want to be locked out. So they know what's best. So they will
There's
just.
a lot of solutions
It's either
that
they
would
talk
work.
to each other, or they're starting to bring into the into the sieves the people that they're gonna fall off, and then they're not gonna allow back into the game anymore.
It was a small minority that
Small
that actually-
minority.
that actually did
They
it.
was very loud. How can a small minority just be so loud into the stadium?
Compared to the whole stadium, it was a small minority that actually did it. But,
But
the
when you
point
say
is-
small, I mean
but
we're
the point is
talking about
it's
50, 100,
small
2,000.
it's too much, but it was
Yeah.
not the right thing. It wasn't the whole stadium. That we don't. It wasn't all Inter fans. It wasn't all stuff. These are things that happen and
Everywhere,
they
yeah.
should not happen.
It's every
Last
stadium
year,
in Italy.
There
it
was
happens.
it was called like territorial
Yeah.
racism with
Mhm.
Napoli.
The
A lot of
Napoli fans,
discrimination with
yeah.
Napoli fans. You know, And one ref actually stopped the game was Sampdoria Napoli. Also because Napoli has a gemellaggio with Genoa, so the Sampdoria fans
Right.
hate Napoli fans, and they stopped the match. Ferrero, the president, went over there. I remember the scenes.
Yeah,
where
yeah,
he
I
yeah.
tried to
remember that.
calm
I remember
down
that.
the fans. So these are things that if it's done in the past for territorial racism or discrimination, then it should definitely happen for this circumstance. Stop the game.
The
But
only
look, at
thing I
but
want to
look,
see.
Marco, the sad thing. This kid here lost his life. I mean, there is a
Yeah.
kid died. I mean, why? I mean, this is you go over
35-year-old.
there just to download, just relax and
Yeah.
enjoy the game.
But the only
Just-
thing is, it was from what I heard that it was the two ultra groups that they even stepped back from inside the stadium. They moved to the side and they said, "Let's fight each other." It looked like a war scene.
They
It-
said
like if you see
to
that,
stay away
this
from
is-
innocent people
This is
too,
like
right?
it happens everywhere. Like even in England, they had a thing with Sterling, the other week. And I think that England is better at handling this kind of stuff than I think Serie A is.
Look how many stools
Also
there.
because, but
Watch.
look
True.
at
We
look
got
at
a
look
lot
at
more,
no,
yeah.
but look at the guys who are the head, like Salvini, another idiot that says stupid stuff. You will never see it in England. The guy Salvini, I mean, he says, "Oh, they boo Bonucci. It's not the same thing." Like you're an idiot. The guys that we have at the top, I think, are idiots.
Yeah.
So it doesn't help what comes down afterwards. This happens across Europe. Happened with Chelsea. It happened with a few other teams.
It's happened in the past. There was in England, for example, the football hooliganism, right?
Yeah.
In the 80s, they actually stopped English teams to participate in the European Cup. I know you remember right after the Heysel disaster and all
right.
those people that died and stuff like that. So I mean, there was hard measures that were
Yeah.
taken by the European Union, European UEFA to stop these tragic events from happening. And you saw a major difference now, where in England it's a family environment. You go there to
Right.
support
That's
your
a
team.
good point.
And it
you
still
chant-
happens.
You chant the team. You
Great
chant for the
point.
team, but it's nothing. You're gonna get the cursing and all the other stuff,
Which is
or the
fine.
stuff,
Which fine.
happens. That's how it is
Yeah.
in Europe. And it's really down to the group mentality. See, that's why you don't see it in America. In America, you don't have that
Yeah.
group.
But
In
Pete
Italy, you
just
have
brought up a
ultras.
great point, because right now the makeup of the tifoseria, it's not just the guys that go to the game and the wives that stay home doing get ready for the dessert and the cake, whether your team wins or loses, whatever the case might be, or just be ready to be yelled at if your home team lost, whatever. Now all the
Which is
family
fine.
goes to the game, and you got kids,
Over there.
you got ladies.
Yeah,
Oh,
even in
actually,
Italy.
Allegri said you got to be I think it was Allegri. Maybe
Right.
don't quote me on it. Somebody big, one of the coaches said you got to be an idiot to bring your kid to a stadium like this. He said, why would I even bring my kid?
I think it was
to-
Ancelotti, maybe.
Maybe it was Ancelotti. He said, "Why would you even bring your kid to come to this game when they're bringing knives and all this kind of stuff outside the stadium?" Either way, I think that there needs to be action. We've seen it many times across, and there's many ideas of how to fix it. Who knows? None of us are gonna know how to fix it. You test, you see what works, and you keep doing it, and you don't accept when it's not done.
Maybe they have to start to test the areas within the stadium to say, okay, all the families, if you got kids, you can just occupy this sector of the stadium. If you're just by yourself, or you're a hard fan, you can just be on the curva. If you have a lot of money, you have both, and then you can sit on
They do
next
that
to.
already, but
Yeah, they
in
do
Italy,
that.
that's what
Next
it's
to
They
different.
try to do that at least.
So,
Anyway, disappointing look, but I think that it's just a learning opportunity for everyone, and it's also beautiful all the messages that have come around from Salah, guys from all different leagues, and showing their support. Just sends a good message to the future generations that are coming up that this won't be tolerated and it's not a normal behavior. Anyway, what other game?
Let's
we
go
have
to Roma.
Roma, they won 2-0 over Parma. I didn't
surprised.
I missed this game. I didn't catch it. I was watching. What other game was at the same time? I don't remember what I
There's
was
a few
watching.
games at the same time.
Who do you guys remember? Did anybody see it?
I wasn't watching.
show
I
me
was
the-
watching the
show me
Inter
the
game.
highlights.
But Roma 2-0 with Cristante, Under. So the young guys coming through. Big win because Parma at home has been tough.
little
They
bit
even gave trouble to Juventus.
Against Gervinho, the role player.
So I mean, Roma right now after a couple of wins in a row.
Listen, Roma
Yeah, it
will be
looks
the
good.
surprise again. Roma is going to overtake either AC Milan or Inter Milan for some reason.
For
I
fourth
smell it.
place?
On the second play, on the,
We're in
on
third
the
place.
second half of the
Third, fourth
doesn't
place?
matter. On the second half of the Inter
You
is going
think
to
so?
slip up. I just smell it.
Good for Di Francesco at least to get a few
I like Di
wins.
Francesco.
And
I
then,
think Roma has got all the cards are lined up for Roma to do very, very, very well on the second half.
guys, how funny is it that the way that they talk about it. Higuain, last week, if you read the papers, they say, Higuain's gone. He's off to Chelsea. He's gone. This week, Higuain's a staple of this Milan.
I never said that.
No, not you. Oh, relax. The newspapers.
Oh, boy.
Same thing with Di Francesco. Di Francesco's out. Gattuso, he's got to step out. Now, oh, my God, Gattuso's the same. I mean, it's crazy how
that's journalism in Italy.
How one thing is one way and
But we're
very
not
interesting.
but we are not the newspaper. We're smarter than those newspapers. So we're not trying to sell newspaper over here. We are just giving professional opinion about soccer. Am I right or wrong, Pete?
100%.
Sometimes from you.
Okay.
Zapata can't stop scoring. Zapata,
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
unbelievable. This guy is ridiculous. And talking about, guys that keep scoring too. Quagliarella, we didn't mention, he's the first player since Trezeguet to score nine games in a row, 9 consecutive matches. Ilicic got a hat trick.
Yeah.
He's
Came on as a sub.
Listen to this, Anto. Ilicic.
Yeah, I saw that.
Okay, I'm gonna ask you a question. 2018. Which 3 players do you think have the most hat tricks across all of Europe?
Across all Europe.
Yes.
Oh, brother. Ilicic is one of them. It's very obvious. Not CR7.
Give it away.
I don't think so. Triplete. Of course, we have Messi. It's
There
the
we go.
second
One more.
Maybe the guy that plays on Real Madrid. Ponytail.
No.
That's him.
No,
Bale?
Bale.
Bale.
No.
Ponytail Mike.
It was Sergio Aguero.
Oh,
Sergio
Aguero.
Aguero, Messi, and Ilicic. 3 hat tricks in 2018. The
That's
top.
funny.
It's beautiful, right? I think it's hilarious. This guy from Atalanta up there. They're all 30 years old too. All experience and all with 3 hat tricks of 2018. So really nice to see.
It was funny. Post game, Gasparini was talking about Ilicic. And he's like, Ilicic is a great player, but he's too
inconsistent.
Not necessarily
Didn't he say
consistent.
that? I'm
Yeah,
pretty
but
sure
he
I
said he
saw
also
that.
like fragile. Like you
Oh,
can
he said
never.
that?
If you ask Ilicic how he's feeling, he goes, "Oh, it's better not to ask him anything." 'Cause he's always complaining, "I'm hurt. Oh, this doesn't. This hurts. I'm pain. I'm in this." But he said, "You know what? As long as he keeps on scoring, I'm not gonna ask him any questions how he's feeling, but just let him score."
Let me ask you guys one more question.
Mm-hmm.
Which Serie A team, until this point, would you guess has the most goals? Since we're at the end of the first half of the season, after 19 games, half of the season done, which team do you think has scored the most goals this season? Anto, you first.
Sampdoria.
Go, Peter.
Juventus, I would say.
I know.
Atalanta.
Atalanta.
Atalanta has scored more goals
Sampdoria was a good guess.
than Juventus and then Roma, who are the number 2 and 3.
Atalanta. You're
More goals than Juventus, more goals than Roma, more goals than Napoli, more goals than
Napoli.
anybody
God.
is Atalanta. So your boy Gasparini, who you love, very
Strikes,
good for
strikes
him.
again. He knows how to get
He's
them
pushing
scoring.
for it, and we got a little awards that we're gonna give out. I texted you guys before.
Awards. Okay.
Awards.
Let's go ahead.
For some 2018. So keep in mind the entire year, not just the first half of the year. We'll start this off with Coach of the Year. We'll go around. Peter, let's get you first.
For Serie A.
For Serie A.
Of course, Serie A. No,
Okay, go ahead.
The friends.
Coach of the year, I have to say Allegri. I mean, what he's able to do, what he's able to year in, year out accomplish. I don't think anyone else can really take away that throne. And
No, maybe I wouldn't. I wouldn't even put it number 10. Allegri.
Oh, come
I
on.
would say Gasparini, Coach of the Year.
What?
Gasparini, Coach of the Year.
Well, listen,
what do you mean?
I can
That's
see
good.
the argument. I say Allegri too
I
for,
say
for what
Gasparini,
Peter said.
actually.
I can see why you
Gasparini.
guys will both say Gasparini just because.
Gasparini, not
Look
even.
at the teams.
Don't look at
I
the
mean,
points.
you
No,
gotta
but the
look-
thing
Don't
is-
look at the points. Gasparini's
points
been
is what's
Atalanta
important.
has been
What's
selling.
important?
Hey,
To
Allegri,
win.
listen, give Gasparini the player that Juventus has. Gasparini
Listen,
will
Peter,
win
I
the
agree
two
with
World
you.
Cup.
I agree with
You
you.
can say any other coach but Gasparini.
No way.
Atalanta's been going through Europe, selling all their players and still getting the best out of
They
the,
do
you
sell.
know,
They sell so
smaller
many players.
Gasparini, number
and,
one.
and Gasparini is still able to
Yeah.
make his
But
players
I
play the
agree.
same.
Last year.
I could have said Gattuso, Ancelotti, but I said
Ow.
Gasparini.
No, you can't say Ancelotti.
I said Gasparini.
Oh yeah, Ancelotti.
Yeah.
Okay,
Gasparini, yeah.
Gattuso, come on.
Wait, what are you talking about?
Antonio.
Go ahead, Mike. You agree
I
with
said it.
that?
agree
You
with
say
you. What about
Gasparini.
you?
I say Allegri too.
Oh, all
We're
right.
2 and
Surprise,
2.
surprise.
Surprise,
Oh.
surprise. Next question.
Next one. We'll do Player of the Year. Antonio, you start first.
I will pick up 2.
No, you gotta choose one.
I gotta pick Donnarumma so far. Donnarumma and
So that's not
the Roma little kid over there.
Zaniolo.
Zaniolo, yeah.
No, come on. That's
It's
not
only
Player
2
of the Year.
weeks.
Doesn't
We're gonna
matter.
have young Player of the
I
Year.
don't care. I don't care.
2018. From
2000
last year.
Or from last
2018.
year.
2018 is a calendar year.
All right. Then Donnarumma.
Like,
I'm gonna go with Icardi. He's just been a clutch player. I don't think I have to explain.
I
myself.
put the same thing. I put Mauro Icardi. I think that this year, this 2018, the second half, where he finally got to play in Champions League, which was the thing that was holding them over the shoulder, against some of the best teams that are favorites to go far, I think he proved that he could score there too. And I think that he doesn't even get the most service that he would get at any other team. So
right.
definitely Mauro Icardi
So
for me.
efficient.
What about you?
No, I think Chiellini. I think Chiellini is really the defensive player that every team needs and every coach will want. He's been able to shut down a lot of the strikers, shut down teams, and you can tell when he's not playing, Juventus struggle. And he's been able to win the past Serie A. Obviously, not all thanks to him, but he's a major part of it. And I think a player of his caliber definitely needs to get the recognition. Sometimes defenders don't get the same recognition as strikers, but I think being able to shut down a striker is just as good as being able to score a goal.
Saving a goal is actually better than being able to shut down the striker.
Grande Asamoah.
Donnarumma, Gigio is the number one. Next question. Let's go.
The next question I got, all right, I won't ask that one yet. The breakout star of 2018. I'll go first this time.
Go ahead.
I'm going to say Zaniolo. I think that Zaniolo, I know that it hasn't been the entire 2018, but I failed to pick up anybody else who I think has made a significant impact.
Dude, that was like a month and a half.
No
give
way.
it to him already?
No way.
Yeah, I'm going to give Zaniolo. I think that
Zaniolo
he's
too.
I think that that's a breakout star.
I mean, if they feel that he's that much better than being a surprise,
who do you think?
I would say Chiesa, because I think Chiesa really, even though we knew about him last year. Oh, come on, Anto, don't make that face. Chiesa has been able to solidify Fiorentina. They play a good football, even though they're having a little struggles right now. They all of last year played. They won like 7 straight, right, after Astori's death. So he was really the focal point for the Fiorentina team, also making the national team, and you can see the national team trying new play, new ideas and growth, and he's a major part of that. So I think Chiesa is the
who's
player.
yours, Anto?
I think it's Zaniolo because Chiesa has been on the league already. Breaking out means
How
it's
long
like
is
the
Chiesa-
rookie of the year for me. But for me, I would just I will make it like
But
the rookie of the year.
I think breakout also means when you because you can play, but Chiesa this year was really a focal point and the star of Fiorentina. That's where you break
out of your form, basically.
Yeah,
doesn't have to be.
I think next year he can go
to me,
top.
Zaniolo.
Listen,
Zaniolo by far.
Listen, I was thinking Zaniolo, but you can't give it to him only because he's only been playing
So
very
who's
little
yours?
time. So I put Under. I think he solidified himself as a starter for Roma. He came from Turkey, and I think he's been very
At least he
consistent.
didn't say Manolas, so
He's always that's a given.
Let's go with biggest surprise of 2018. I know mine. What's yours?
Piontek. I had no clue who he was.
Okay, but you just told me that you got mad at me that I picked a guy 6 months, but you just picked a guy 6
months. Though.
Yeah, biggest surprise of 2018.
So
you
he
said that I
thinks
couldn't
he's
pick Zaniolo because it was this half of the season.
He's
Compared
second to
to what he's
Ronaldo
done,
in
yeah.
goals.
Piontek. Who cares? This
do you
guy's
mean?
never going to score
No,
again.
no, you said that you couldn't choose Zaniolo because he just played this part of
Zaniolo
the half.
played 2 weeks. At least Piontek started from the beginning
My
of the
turn?
season.
Okay,
Wow,
now
let
let's
him
go.
explain- let
Let's
him
go
explain
clockwise.
his
Let's
Let
go
him explain his
clockwise. Piontek, right?
He's gonna explain it, but he didn't.
Okay,
Yeah, he
explain.
I
explained
already
it.
explained. I think. First of all, you picked Zaniolo for you've been playing a month and
Rewind the
Piontek-
clip. You said I couldn't pick this guy.
Piontek started
anyway.
from the beginning of the season.
Go, Anto. Go closer to the mic. Do you have yours? Otherwise,
So
let
what's
Peter
the
go.
question again?
Wait, you wanna
The
get
biggest
this?
surprise of 2018 for you.
In terms of players or the
Yeah.
team?
Oh, actually, you could feel free to say a team. Peter, go.
Peter,
You
go in the
want to say
meantime.
yours?
Let me think of-
Biggest surprise, I think, Skriniar. I mean, he's really been able to solidify himself as a center back that a lot of teams are looking at right now, and you can tell he's very strong in the air, one-on-one. I think he's one of the best defenders. He's such a young player, and he plays with a lot of composure. I think that was one of Inter's top signing, and hopefully within a couple of years can be, a leader for this Inter team.
That's a good one.
I got
grow.
one.
Okay.
Bakayoko.
You
I'm
guys
telling
are-
you, this kid
You
here
guys don't
is
play,
here to
calendar
stay.
year.
Doesn't
not this
matter.
year.
This guy here
We
is
gotta
here to
change the
stay.
questions over here.
Bakayoko is here to stay. This kid here is going to become one of the major staple of the Serie A.
Anto, 2 weeks ago, you wanted to throw him out.
I like this guy here. I can't believe what he's capable to do.
Okay.
I think Gattuso has found the right spot
I
for the
can't
guy.
believe.
And I just hope that
I'm gonna
everybody
get you a
has learned.
Bakayoko jersey.
Huh?
I'm gonna get you a
Oh,
Bakayoko
yeah.
shirt, okay?
Please.
My biggest surprise, I think, has been Quagliarella. The way that he's still playing at this level. He turns
one.
36 this month
In
in
a few
January.
weeks.
So in a few weeks, still competing with the best, still day in and day out, scores beautiful goals that we say, oh my God, he's still there. So to me, Quagliarella, biggest surprise of 2018. I love him.
I love national
love
team
him.
Azzurri. Yes.
Yes. We saw this before. Biggest, I'm sorry to say this, biggest disappointment
I don't want to say this.
of 2018.
Biggest
Peter, go.
disappointment.
Pete, you want to start?
I was gonna say Milinkovic-Savic, but he had.
First half of 2018.
Yeah,
first
first
half
half
of
was
2018
good.
was great, but like he's
He's picking up a little form. He scored a couple of goals. Yeah, now he's picking
but
up. He's picking up.
I don't know. I expected more in the start of the season. I want him to really become a leader of this Lazio team.
Mhm.
And I feel like by him struggling, the rest of Lazio struggled. And hopefully for next year, he's gonna be able to turn it on because I think he's a fantastic player. And it shouldn't be that you have $100 million price tag and all of a sudden you don't know how to play anymore. So he's got to be able to find himself and do what he's been able to do in the past.
I pulled Caldara, even though he got injured and stuff. I expected so much from him. I know it's kind of a weird thing to say just because he's had a lot of
Kind of a
injuries.
mean one.
It is a little mean, but I just thought he was gonna be like, okay, he's going to Milan now. He's gonna get his chance.
Nothing. He didn't do anything. Big disappointment. I gotta tell you something. For me, it's not a player. I would say he's the coach. He's one of the coaches.
Surprise, surprise.
It's Mourinho and Spalletti, both of them are the same one. Very disappointed.
Explain
the
just real quick.
way those guys they portray themselves, they're supposed to be they're supposed to be showcasing the management and and the image of the team. They just go against the camera and all of those kind of stuff. What is this garbage? And Mourinho starting to do all of that stuff. Hey guys, this is 2020, almost getting there. 2020.
2019.
2019, in a few hours.
2019 is in
I
a.
gotta skip 19.
You don't do things like this. So you have to look for leaders. Those are not leaders. So those are the next.
biggest
Look at
disappointment.
it. I'm so happy for Mourinho. I think it's at least he's earning money right now without getting stressed out. So he's just sitting on the couch or maybe going fishing over there and just earning his money.
He's waiting for a call.
Oh, yeah. Keep waiting, Mourinho. So another big disappointment. What he did, he was trying to ruin the career of Pogba. And then
Pogba. Can you believe
Sabotage.
Pogba this
He scored
season
3 goals already.
under the new coach? He scored the same
goals.
amount of goals, more
He scored
goals
4
than
goals
under
in
Mourinho.
3
What
games.
does that tell you? What does that tell you?
Antonio was right all along. We gotta believe you first.
What does that tell you? I was
Oh, he's
just
playing much more attacking too. I watched one of their games.
Mourinho has a set way. He's in a set way. It doesn't mean it's the best way. Every team is a different animal, so you cannot treat everything.
You
the
know
same
what?
way.
I put them on the same plate. Peter.
Mourinho does not give
Who?
freedom to his players. Okay, he's a very rigid coach, but you cannot say that he's not a good coach. He's a rigid coach. He plays a certain way. He had Eto'o, who was top scorer for Barcelona, play left wing and technically playing as a second left back, but he was able to get Inter to the promised land. So
Who are you gonna compare? Oh,
Listen, I said Mourinho and Spalletti because as soon as Spalletti gets sacked, Mourinho is ready to come back in.
okay.
So that's why. And for me, they're
I
both
think
losers.
a player that you can probably mention is Belotti.
No,
Belotti.
I don't have
Belotti
anything against Belotti.
Hasn't
I
done
don't.
anything.
it's
Hasn't
not like
done
that.
anything
That was from
since
last
2000.
season too, though.
Yeah,
That's
season
from
as well.
2018.
He hasn't
You
done
know,
anything.
disappointment.
I'm
He's
happy.
been one of the
I am
biggest
happy
ones,
for
bro.
Belotti that
He
he's
lost-
staying in Torino because I didn't want him on
Yeah,
AC
but
Milan. Don't get me
he
wrong.
also lost out his national team
Yeah.
spot.
yeah.
He hasn't
That's
been
a-
able to score.
is
The
that
only
who you
times he
said?
score is
Who'd you say?
no. I
He scored a
said
penalty, right?
What'd you say?
That was the only time he scored.
I said Milinkovic-Savic.
Oh, okay.
But I
But
mean,
actually-
maybe that was harsh.
Yeah,
Maybe
it's a little bit harsh.
Belotti
Mine was
could be
definitely
there.
hard.
I say Simeone, Gio Simeone, because I thought Simeone was gonna break
Well, he had a
out.
good start of the season, and then he fell.
Not really
Yes,
good
he
start
did.
of
He had
the
a great
season.
start.
I don't think
Check
he had a
the
good
stats.
start.
Yeah, he did.
Mm.
But
He had
then
a good
fell
start of the
off.
season.
Yeah,
Not
he did.
really.
I
Check
figured-
his goals. He
I
scored
figured-
almost every game.
No, Mike.
telling you,
We
check.
are-
Oh, we're watching two different campeonatos over here.
In the beginning of the season, this season.
Simeone, I thought could have been doing much better right now. Just the reason why I say he's the biggest disappointment is because maybe I have the highest standards. I was expecting a lot from him. Anyway, best moment of 2018 to conclude, and then we got one last one, and that's it. Best moment for me is Manolas's goal in the Champions League as the comeback
Bingo.
to beat Barcelona. One of the greatest turnarounds to me that I've ever seen, beating Barcelona 3-0. The Barcelona with Messi. And Manolas's goal
I think that was the same for everyone, right?
What's yours?
Go ahead, Pete. What do you think?
I think it's when Inter beat Lazio on the
Oh,
last day
my
to get the
God.
Champions
that was
League
a nice
spot.
one too.
La
Wow.
Prende, Vecino, and Adani going crazy on Sky.
That was a good one.
It was 10,
actually a good one.
almost 8 years not going to Champions League, and it's something that we needed. So
What's yours?
I would say Manolas. Yeah, this time, yes.
Yours is not Cassano starting to play. Then
Well,
delete it, and then go, and then not.
Cassano is it's above everything. I mean,
All his moments are the best moments, right?
trying
Yeah.
to play for Hellas Verona.
Okay, now last one. Your prediction for 2019. Who's going to be the guy that we talk about? Mine is Federico Chiesa. I think that we've seen signs that Chiesa is starting to step up. I think that we've seen signs of maturity. I think that we've seen signs of leadership. And I think that he's also got a perfect spot in Fiorentina and also for the national team to be able to show the qualities that he has. So my guess is that 2019 is going to be Federico Chiesa.
Oh, that's pretty good.
I hope.
I'm gonna go with Zaniolo on
Me
this
too.
one.
Zaniolo, definitely.
Zaniolo, I think he had a good start with Roma. He's getting so much more confident. He's so passionate. He fights 100%. He's what Roma needs right now. And it looks like the deal with Raja and Zaniolo looks like Roma got the better end of the stick so far. And I'm excited to see him in 2019.
Oh, yeah, Zaniolo, by
Same
far.
thing?
By far. Zaniolo, I can see him already beat the register of the national team. He's going to be the one orchestrating all of the offensive. Everything is going to have to go through him into the midfield.
What Verratti
Peter?
was supposed to do.
Actually, Zaniolo might just put Verratti out of his misery because Zaniolo. Let me tell you something. Zaniolo can take his position. Zaniolo is capable. Zaniolo is a very capable player. I think he's a better midfielder than Verratti. Verratti is a choker.
Yeah.
Pete?
I like Verratti, but he's a choker. He cannot really perform it during the big games, especially when he plays for Italy. So I will say I like to see Zaniolo start the game,
Okay.
and Verratti fight for his spot. Yeah, that's what I wanted to see.
Yep, that's what I'm saying.
I think Zaniolo is an interesting thing, but maybe because I'm an Inter fan, I want to see Lautaro Martinez really come out. I think he's a fantastic player. Every time he comes in, he's able to score those goals. He reminds me a lot like Sergio Aguero. I don't want to put any pressure on him, but he's quick, he's smart, he plays really well. I think his one thing that he has to work on is if he's going to be the second striker, when he comes to get the ball, a lot of times he loses it because he tries to do too much. Make sure you get the ball, get the foul, or try to just play the simple ball back. You do not always have to try to beat the guy. But, sometimes when you have a certain type of creativity and you're able to think outside the box, you're going to make mistakes, especially at a young age. But I think he's definitely the vice Icardi, and he can score goals.
So you're saying the backup Icardi. If Icardi goes down, this guy here is ready to pick up the slack, you're saying?
Anto, who's going to have more goals in 2019? Paqueta or Lautaro Martinez?
I would say Paqueta.
You've never
Paqueta.
seen the guy play.
Paqueta.
He has a cool name
oh,
too,
yeah.
right?
Oh, I
Mila,
like that.
the
I
squad
like that.
cool name.
Bakayoko, Paqueta.
Mike, let's conclude with the last two questions of 2018.
Okay, let me get one.
Who's
Okay.
the best player manager you think is going to be the best player
does that mean?
manager?
What do you mean?
What do you mean,
manager?
player manager?
Meaning
Coach?
no,
The
no,
assistant
no,
coach?
no,
What
the
the hell is player
manager,
manager?
the one that does marketing for you.
What the hell kind of question is that?
Wanda. For me, it's Wanda.
I understand your question.
You
now.
should
Agent, okay, player manager, agent.
The Wanda Award, it should be named.
Oh, yeah.
The Wanda Award.
Wanda.
I agree.
Okay, boys.
You listen, I don't think you've ever gotten an episode without talking about Cassano, Mourinho, Spalletti, or Wanda.
Oh, yeah.
And now it's going to be Bakayoko.
Not Bakayoko.
Okay. So we got what are you gonna say?
Go ahead.
Okay, so we got a good one over here. Assuming Juve, Napoli, and Inter take the first three spots for Champions League, who's gonna be the fourth team to take the fourth UCL spot?
So look back at what we predicted before.
Oh well, now revised, I guess you could say.
What are you going to say?
A lot of people are saying Lazio or Roma. I think I'm gonna go with Lazio on this one. What I said in the beginning of the season.
AC Milan.
I'm with Antonio. I'm with Antonio.
I'm sticking with Lazio. I said it before. I said they were going to get the fourth spot, but also because I'm hoping that Milinkovic-Savic comes back into form, and Luis Alberto and all these guys, Lucas Leiva. I think they have a great midfield.
Lazio's had a
And
really...
Immobile's got to start scoring again. That's it.
Yeah.
That's a big disappointment.
Anto.
You're talking about disappointing players.
He still scored a lot.
That was Immobile. Okay.
You got more question, Mike?
I
ahead.
got one more. The best goalkeeper of the 2018 calendar year.
Gigio.
I don't know. That's a toughie.
GG.
Gigio Donnarumma.
Wait, go, Marco. What are you gonna say? Because I need more time.
I mean, my answer is pretty obvious. It's Buffon.
Oh, I think I know.
40 years old,
Okay,
still playing
yeah.
at the top.
I was gonna say Alisson.
Alisson.
Yeah, he was
Handanovic.
one of the best players ever. Handanovic. Wait,
Kassan.
aren't you an Inter fan?
So
Okay, well,
Handanovic.
you had a
he
pretty
said
good-
the Milan
Yeah, I get it.
goalkeeper.
But we
He
already
said
expect that from
It's not
Antonio.
Juventus'
We expect
goalkeeper.
that from Antonio.
But come on, Buffon, 40 years old.
Yeah, but
Other
it hasn't done
goalkeeper.
anything. Look,
What do you mean,
Szczesny-
at PSG? Yeah, yeah.
in the sense that Szczesny is playing goalkeeper for Juventus and he's having the
I
same
think
success
Szczesny
as
is doing
Buffon.
much better than Buffon.
No.
Guys,
way.
Alisson
He's
was one
they're
of the
scoring
best
a lot less
goalkeepers
goals
ever.
against Szczesny than Buffon.
Guys, Alisson was one of the keys why Roma went to the semifinals.
And we also,
of the Champions League.
this Juventus has Bonucci too. We were playing last year with
Peter, what do you think of
a
Alisson?
crutch.
He's a great goalkeeper.
Not over Handanovic?
No.
What?
Yeah, to me, Alisson was
think-
over Handanovic for
I
2018.
think
Alisson
Handanovic
was
shaved
alright.
Inter.
Donnarumma
not getting
over
a
all
round
of
for
them. Donnarumma over all of them.
Alisson second though, right?
Donnarumma. Alisson second. Yeah, I would say second.
Who's
Yeah.
third?
Third, actually, I like Perin, to be honest with you. And I like
He doesn't even play.
Doesn't matter. I like,
He's saying in
I
general,
like
he's
Perin
saying in
and I like
general.
Napoli's goalkeeper.
Catanese?
Which one?
No,
Nah,
come on.
It was
Meret.
worth a try.
You tried to slip that in there.
Meret.
Anyway, guys, happy new year. Our last episode of 2018.
Oh, boy.
You're probably watching this in 2019.
Why, you're not going to get it together?
No, I'm saying they might turn it on tomorrow. They might not watch it
Guys,
right
we
now.
come from the past. We're in 2018 now, but you guys are watching 2019.
We're going to have an extra glass of champagne. We're going to be cheering you up for
and
into
Gaetano too. We're
into
gonna
the
pour-
next
pour
year. I
another-
mean, Gaetano, where is he?
I think he's
But
come back
anyway,
from Florida,
guys, keep watching us. We're coming up with something big at
Yeah,
the
it's gonna
beginning
be-
of 2019.
2019 is gonna be very interesting.
Nothing but the best for you guys. Actually, why don't we get us a resolution? I don't have a resolution. I don't set myself any resolution because you know what resolution stands
Because you're already
for?
perfect.
A bunch of baloney.
The resolution is the repeat of the solution. Okay, did you understand? A solution of the
understand.
solution is not a
Is that
solution.
Latin? Or?
I will set a goal, okay? The goal of this podcast is to reach the unreachable, and I want all you guys to spread the good news for...
Spread it like a virus, right?
yes, like a virus, okay?
Like a yes.
Yes. And what else? And then I want to see AC Milan maybe just go over Inter for third
Like
place
even.
on...
Just for 2 seconds, right? And then
Okay.
we can hop over them.
So go ahead, your goal or resolution, or whatever
My
you
goal
want
of
to call it.
resolution, I don't know. I guess to
to get another Greek in the Serie A.
hopefully another game, but to get a bigger community and get people talking and get our Instagram back.
Yeah.
So we can all be on the same page and just continue spreading culture
Mine
and converting
is,
Premier League fans to Serie A.
To lift the trophy with the big ears. 2019 has got to be it.
Coppa Italia.
Or what happened if you don't lift that?
If I don't lift
Bye
it,
bye Allegri.
No, bye Allegri.
Ciao.
Conte's been at the stadium a lot these past few days.
What's your resolution, Pete?
No, I think Inter now is moving forward. We got Marotta. We're gonna be making some right decisions. Sunik's gonna spend some money. I feel like Inter is the team that in the future is gonna be able to maybe do something. So
First team to
it'd be
knock
great.
Juve off, you think?
Yeah.
You see? Anyway, guys, 2018 has been incredible. The launch of the podcast, the development of IFTV, we've only got you guys to thank. As it continues to grow, jumping in the comments, liking, rating the podcast, all of this stuff. It's been a fun journey.
And guys,
Five
yes,
stars, guys. don't
5
forget.
stars, guys, for the
Do we
last
have a
thing in
sale? Do we
2018.
still have
No, we don't have a sale, Anto. There's no sale right now. Everybody keeps asking us about the Tricolore shirts. They're going to come back soon once we get our Instagram back, as we have people that were already promised on Instagram who set their notifications. We're not going to launch them yet until we get Instagram
But
back.
guys, yes,
Hopefully
follow
very
us
soon.
on our social medias at IFTV Official. We're going to post all the updates there, so put notifications on so you don't miss any updates.
Yes. Happy New Year's. Happy holidays. And we'll see you in 2019.
Can't
Ciao,
wait.
ragazzi.
Ciao, guys.